Hello, welcome to the Moon Scarab channel. My name is Ramon. On this video, we will explore the meaning of all 14 cards from the Suit of Swords. The purpose of this video is to make it easier to you by providing on a single video the essentials of what you need to understand to get started with reading the cards. You will see an explanation of what is depicted on each card. This is important because each tarot card is full of many details which are part of each message. I will also provide you with a group of meaningful keywords to the upright and reverse position on each card. You will see a zodiac correspondence, element, and numerology value. Once you understand the system, it's really easy. We all have the potential and skill to tap into the divine realm. It's just a matter of learning, applying what you learn, and believing with all your heart in what you do. Let's get started.
The Suit of Swords deals with the mental level of our consciousness that is centered around the mind and the intellect. Swords reflect our capacity of thinking, our logic, and the state of mind present in thoughts, intelligence, and communication. When a Swords card comes up in your tarot reading, take a closer look at your thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs. They deal with issues related to decisions, communication, reasoning, ideas, and inspiration. They suggest choices that are being made with the head over the heart. The Suit of Swords is associated with the element of air. Air is invisible, but also fluid and in constant movement, as gentle as breeze or forceful as stormy winds. It all relates to knowledge, action, power, and change. It's a masculine energy that can lead by force and power, even though it remains unseen. Its correspondence in a deck of playing cards is the Suit of Spades. Swords cards represent the astrological signs of Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords card shows a hand emerging from the clouds wielding a double-edged sword. This double-edged sword carries a golden crown while being encircled by a wreath. The sword stands floating, and on the background we see mountains, which are used as symbols of the vast reach that swords can go. The crown is used as a symbol for power, and the wreath is associated with victory, success, and achievement. As an ace, this card represents the beginning of a journey. The Ace of Swords marks a wave of new energy from the intellectual realm. This card is a sign of encouragement. It says your mind is in expansion mode. You're open to embracing new ideas, inspiration, original thinking, and vision, and you're excited to pursue new opportunities that draw upon your mental and intellectual abilities. When the Ace of Swords appears in a tarot reading, it tells you that now is an excellent time to start a new project, one that requires your intellect, communication skills, and mental power. But also, consider that the sword is a double-edged blade, implying that it can both create and destroy. The message of this card is clear. With power comes responsibility. It will be up to you how to leverage the opportunity for the greater good. You will need a strong heart and mind to see how to best use your power for the service of others and yourself. Two of Swords. The Two of Swords tarot card depicts a blindfolded woman dressed in a white robe. She is seated and holding two identical crossed swords in her hands. Behind the woman is a body of water with rocky islands. Above her is the moon in crescent face. The Two of Swords denote a crossroads or stalemate. It appears whenever you're facing a difficult decision in your life. The blindfold over her eyes tells us that the power of the mind is not limited to sight. She turns inwards to her thoughts and beyond them. It's about shouting out distractions and aligning voices inside your own mind. The rocks in the water behind the woman represent the obstacles that must be faced. The water represents the emotions, and while the Suit of Swords traditionally associates with the mind and intellect, the presence of water shows that the woman must use both her head and her heart to weigh her options. The crescent moon up above, it's still in its growth phase and symbolizes growth and going throughout a cycle, just like the blindfolded woman going through a process of decision making. The Two of Swords comes as a reminder that many of life's decisions are difficult ones and rarely come with clear-cut answers. This is an invitation to make your choices with your best intentions, fully aware of possible consequences. Use your mind and intellect and pair them with your heart and intuition to choose the path that is most in alignment with your higher self. Three of Swords. The depiction of the Three of Swords tarot card is simple, yet so powerful. It illustrates a floating heart pierced by three swords. In the background, we see dark clouds and a heavy downpour of rain. The Three of Swords signifies a sudden and unexpected blow to emotions. The heart pierced by the three swords represents the pain inflicted by words, actions, or intent by emotional and possibly physical hurt. The dark clouds in the background mirror this pain, but offer the hope that just as the storm clouds will disappear, so too will the pain and hurt you're experiencing. When the Three of Swords turns up in a tarot reading, it signals a feeling of deep hurt and disappointment pierced by the sharp blades of hurtful words, actions, and intentions, and they have inflicted intense emotions of pain, sadness, grief, and heartbreak. These events are often unexpected and come out of the blue, making them even more painful. The Three of Swords comes as a reminder that pain, sorrow, and grief are a necessary part of life. Without pain, you can never experience the challenges you need to grow and develop as a person. However, this is also a card of resilience. The clouds will dissipate, and soon you will have a better perspective of what you can learn from the experience. The heart does not truly break, but mends itself. We carry in our own hearts the scars of all kinds of pain, but we are still here. Our hearts are still beating. Four of Swords. The Four of Swords tarot card depicts the carved image of a man lying on a tomb. His hands are pressed together as if he is praying, and his expression is serene. Above him hangs three swords, and the fourth sword is carved into the front of his resting place. In the background, we see a stained glass depicting a woman and a child. The Four of Swords tarot card stands for the need to rest, contemplation, and quiet time. All the sword cards represent some form of trials and challenges, and on this card, the challenge is to try to remain quiet, to rest, and recharge. The coffin in the Four of Swords does not symbolize death, but a period of going within. The lid is open, and it seems to be empty. When the Four of Swords appears in a reading, it suggests a period of mental downtime. As with all the cards in the suit of swords, this moment won't last forever, so it's important to use this time wisely. The main idea of this card is take time and space for yourself. It's important to take a step back, reevaluate your life, gather strength, and focus your energy before facing the next challenge. Pausing, calming, and resting in this instance is the wisest way to promote a better self. Five of Swords. In the Five of Swords card, a man picks up three swords from the ground. He glances over his shoulder at two men who are walking away, conveying a sense of sadness and loss. We can see two more swords across the grass, suggesting a battle has been fought and lost. The sky is cloudy and tumultuous, a sign that not all is well, even though the fighting has stopped. The Five of Swords represent conflict or tension between individuals, which, if not resolved, is a loss scenario for everyone involved. This card symbolizes loss, betrayal, weakness, and ultimately, it describes that something must be let go in order to move forward. This card can also show intimidation by a bully, a person who gains self-worth by oppressing others verbally, physically, or emotionally. It shows us how ego can wreak havoc on our relationships and connections. Ultimately, the cost of this victory becomes clear. The advice of the Five of Swords is to pick your battles. Choosing your battles wisely is better than engaging in every disagreement. Not only will it lead to a more peaceful existence, but your interpersonal relationships are likely to come out stronger. Six of Swords. The Six of Swords shows a woman and a young child being rowed across a body of water. Under a gray sky, a ferryman steers a small boat toward a distant landscape. The woman is completely shrouded, hunched, and sitting next to a small child. Six swords are stuck into the boat, pointing down. The guide stands behind them, stirring up the water as he slowly moves the boat into the horizon. The Six of Swords is heavy with thought and emotion. It shows us that it's a healing journey. It's a process of moving after a difficult time. They're tired, but wiser and stronger. Sad, but determined to start over. It represents overcoming obstacles and moving forward. The boat itself is significant too. It travels over water. Although this is a swords card concerned with our minds, there is an emotional journey happening too. To cross a body of water is symbolically to move forward emotionally. There is a quiet, supportive sense of empowerment in this card. The Six of Swords invites you to let go of whatever is holding you back, be it from your past or your present circumstances. Instead, gaze ahead to your future and choose the way that aligns with your highest good and long-term potential. Make firm, tough decisions as a rite of passage towards a much better position in life. Don't dwell on what's left behind. Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords tarot card depicts a man sneaking away from a military camp with 5 swords in his hands while looking behind to check for any witnesses. In the background, 2 swords stand, indicating that this man has stolen the weapons that he possesses. The expression on his face is confident, knowing that he will not be caught. The Seven of Swords in most decks is often associated with cleverness at best and deception at worst. However, this does not need to be written off as a negative card. When harnessed positively, its energy can be subversive and entertaining, a much needed break from the seriousness of obligation. It reveals doing things your own way and abandoning group ideals. The Seven of Swords is seen as a card of saving yourself. This can have positive elements to it, as in many personal transformations, but it can be negative as well, revealing the core selfishness present in many of our decisions. There is also an element of haste in this card, an indicator of moving fast in a decision-making process. It might also suggest that you may need to put yourself first to get what you want, even if it means letting others down or putting others offside. The Seven of Swords could also imply that you are trying to escape from a situation that is not working for you anymore, rather than dealing with it head-on. A more negative interpretation of this card can reflect dishonesty, unclear motives, and a desire to evade duty or escape from conflict, whether real or imagined. The Seven of Swords is a card also concerned with poor effort on a task. The character is leaving 2 swords behind, not completing what he came to do. Paired with other cards, it can balance its meaning towards one side or the other. However, this is a card that asks you to look inward and examine your own behavior. 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords illustrates a blindfolded woman surrounded by 8 swords. Her arms are tied behind her and bound to her body. The swords around her seem to serve as a prison, but there is enough space in front of her to escape. It seems as if she is too focused on her painful situation, leaving her unable to perceive that there is a way out. The 8 of Swords in the upright position stands for feeling stuck in a repeated cycle or feeling bound by outside forces. Sometimes we feel restricted, entrapped, and being backed into a corner by circumstances, lost and confused, with no chance of help and relief. You might feel as if you are in an impossible situation. When you draw the 8 of Swords card, remember that choices are always available. Solutions may not come easily, but they do exist. All that is required is to take the first step towards a solution of clarity of thoughts. The essence of this card is, you are not a victim. Don't surrender your power to an external situation, allowing yourself to become trapped and limited in some way. Take back your power and personal accountability, and open your eyes to the options in front of you. You do have choices. You are not powerless. Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords tarot card depicts a man sitting on a bed with his face in his hands. On the wall behind him hangs 9 swords, aligned and mounted vertically. The man's shoulders are hunched downward, suggesting that he may have awoken from a nightmare or that he is crying into his hands. Below him, a carving of a person being defeated is engraved into his bed. The Nine of Swords is a card that represents recurring fears and worries. It symbolizes finding it difficult to look at a situation for what it truly is. It carries a feeling of victimization, self-defeat, deep unhappiness, stress, being overwhelmed, and burden. When this card comes up in a tarot reading, look at your attitude when facing a given dilemma, one that worries you. You may also feel that there isn't much that you can do to fix your situation. This is not the case. Remind yourself that you can face anything and allow yourself time to deal with whatever you're currently going through. Look at the big picture and you'll see the situation from a different point of view. 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords shows a man lying face down, apparently dead, with 10 swords stabbed into his back. A red cape drapes over the lower half of his body. The dark sky breaks to show the sun of a new horizon. There is a calm body of water followed by mountains on the horizon. In the Ten of Swords, we're really getting to the highest climax point of what we've learned in the Swords. The Ten of Swords marks a painful ending. It's the end of a cycle. It can't hurt you any further. As difficult as it is, whatever transpires now is forcing you to look into a new direction and towards a new dawn. It indicates facing a time during which there is a sense of defeat. This sense of failure will cause pain and sadness, but it's a necessary stage to close the cycle so it can't hurt you any longer. The Ten of Swords is freedom. It's liberation. It's very uncomfortable, but it does invite us to welcome a new beginning. Respect the emotions of this moment. Denying its pain and sadness is denying yourself to complete the cycle that will enable you to grow. The hour is darkest before dawn, and you must experience the full impact of what has happened before you can move forward and start over. Page of Swords. The Page of Swords tarot card depicts a young character standing confident with a sword in hand, staring off into the distance with a proud expression while the sky above is turbulent and a strong wind blows over the branches of the trees behind. Although a storm seems to be approaching, the page shows no fear. The Page of Swords stands confident and ready to take on anything in the way. When this card shows up in the reading, it's an encouragement to seek out new experiences and to take risks. The Page of Swords signals a new perspective or direction. This page has a new vantage point. As the swords relate to communication, the Page of Swords suggests that you are exploring a different way of expressing yourself with others and communicating your ideas and opinions with a new sense of direction, idealism, and enthusiasm. This card encourages you to start anew in mental pursuits, mental health, and communication without needing external validation to do it. You're being called to embody the lessons you've learned and lean into your curiosity to make it happen. Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords rides confidently and swiftly into battle on his strong white horse. The sky behind him indicates a storm is coming, but he has no fear. He pushes forward with courage and optimism, ready to fight anything that gets in his way. This knight is forceful, assertive, and is often seen as being rash and impulsive. If you get the Knight of Swords in a tarot reading, it might suggest you to make a quick decision and take immediate action to make a matter in question to happen. Do it with an adventurous and passionate energy following your ideals. As with all knights of the tarot deck, the Knight of Swords represents an unstoppable energy, one which sets its mind on something. Since the swords represent intellect and mental processes, the card indicates the use of thinking skills to move ahead in life. The message of this card is, set intensely all of your mind to what you want to achieve, and you will be able to seize it. Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords sits on an ornate throne, looking off into the distance. The double-edged sword in one hand is pointed towards the sky, while the other hand is extended out, offering her support and advice. The Queen of Swords appearing in a tarot reading doesn't necessarily have to refer to a person. It might be posing traits of the Queen of Swords and their use in your own life. As an influence, the personality of the Queen of Swords combines the positive air energy of the sword suit with inward focus of a queen. The Queen of Swords is intuitive, wise, and a quick thinker. She embodies the energy of someone who reasons clearly and masters handling their emotional state. This queen can represent a man or a woman who is like her, or an atmosphere of honest, direct communication. This card could be about a person who has experience, knowledge, is wise, and reputable. Often represents an older woman, such as a mother or grandmother. The queen is aware of both her thoughts and emotions. She doesn't just move with her heart, she thinks things through. The Queen of Swords encourages you to look at all the facts and puzzle pieces before making a decision. The message of this card is, you are strong and powerful. Follow your intuition, guided by your wisdom. This will allow you to evolve to higher levels in life. King of Swords. The King of Swords tarot card depicts a king sitting on his throne with a double-edged sword standing upright in his hand. His expression is calm and serious, reflecting his calm demeanor and his qualities of logic, strong morals, and fairness. The King of Swords embodies the theme of the entire suit of swords: action, decisions, and swift movement. The King of Swords is a leader with a strong mind and an air of authority, rational, values-oriented, and undeniable intelligence. This energy is methodical, devoted, and prefer the abstract over the messiness of everyday life. They judge appropriately, using honesty to gain the respect of others. He uses intellect to understand the world around him. He follows with his head over his heart, using logic and truth to gain wisdom. If the King of Swords appears in a reading, he serves as a reminder to use your head when making important decisions. Tap into your intellect and mental skills to figure out the truth of a situation. In its core, it represents stability that comes from the ability to judge things. Look to embody these qualities one day at a time. Become more assertive. Understand what you want from life, and you can become a stronger and more structured being. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and share it with someone who might benefit from it. And click the subscribe button for more future videos about tarot, divination, and other esoteric topics.